Kevin Gardner, thanks for coming and joining us today. You are running as a candidate in the local elections. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Graham, I'm Nelson born, married with 2 adult daughters. I've worked all my life in the motor trade. I've had my own business. I still have my own business. I've had employees. I have been an employee. I'm currently the Vice President of Grey Power Nelson, member of Nelson Historical Society. I've been a president of other historical societies. I've always been interested in politics, whether they be local bodies or national politics. And I live at Attawai, my wife Sue, and a cat who owns the property. And there's not much else. I'm a avid supporter of motorsport. It may upset some people, but motorsport is a sport, and people just don't realise that there's a lot of physical activity in motorsport.
Sure is.
What else can I tell you?
No, that's enough. You're pretty busy, all right. And can you tell us why people should vote for you, please?
As people that know me through Grey Power will know that I'm not scared of standing up to people, and I believe in fair go for all, and it doesn't matter what age they are, and I will fight for them if I'm right. I'm quite easily, so if someone tells me that I'm wrong and they can prove it, I will accept that. I will not deny it. I consider that I could put a backbone into the council to stand up to some of the momentous overspend that the council is doing, and if you tot it all up, it goes into millions. It concerns me that by the year 2020, which is only 3 years away, we will more than have doubled our indebtedness to the money lenders in this world. Like a newborn child in 2020 will be welcome to Nelson with a $3,000 debt. And the average ratepayer will be in debt for $6,700. And this grey hair can remember days when the money lenders were asking 22 and 24% on home mortgages. And you will have listeners out there that can remember that. Currently, at the moment, it's all very fine. Our indebtedness for the council has increased from, what shall we say, 72 million 2014, and by 2020 it's going to be 253 million. That's, I don't know how your household runs, but if you want $200 worth of groceries and you've only got $150, you live on the $150, and so should the council. It's disconcerting just to see the amount of debt they're prepared to go to on our behalf. You know? And when people say to me, oh, the council should do this and that, what they're actually saying is, or what they should actually do is go with the bucket to the next door neighbour and say, give me some money please. You know, I want money for this and that. It is off their fellow citizens that they expect us to do things, and it can't carry on.
Sure, that's good points, Kevin. We'll go on to some questions that we got from people on the street down at the Candidates Market on Saturday.
Yeah. I'd like to ask new candidates how each one might vote on the GMO question, which has been in the news recently.
David's asked a curly one because, again, the government has washed their hands of the issue. Council-wise, genetically modified organisms is a real hornet's nest. I would not like to see it be involved in our area whatsoever. It's not good for our biodiversity, and if some of the stuff gets loose, we are in trouble.
They were good points. How about some points and issues that you'd like to quickly raise of your own?
Yeah, we have a problem. We're supposed to be a tourist city, and how can we have tourists come here every time it gets a good downpour that we have sewage in the water? Notices up, no swimming. Well, that's what Nelson's known for. Our pristine beaches, and it cannot go on. Infrastructure has to be brought up to date, and things like that. The link has to be sorted, and the nice to haves have to take a back seat to the need to haves. Like our infrastructure needs updating. You cannot have subdivisions up in the foothills with a pipe for their waste of 8 inches going into a 6-inch pipe, and further down towards the sea it goes into a 4-inch pipe. It just will not fit. It's like putting square pegs into round holes. We must do infrastructure. We must catch up.
Excellent. Kevin Gardner, thanks very much for coming in.
All right.
Good luck.
All right, bro. Thank you.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics, toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan, and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
Hi, Dave here from Nelson Beds,
and Jesse.
We'd like to invite you all into our showroom here in Quarantine Road. Have a look at what we produce. We do a wide range of beds, bedroom furniture, adjustable beds, both home care style, whereby you may have people that are in a disabled position, or just adjustable beds for your own comfort. We do rustic furniture and bed frames, mattresses. So with our ranges of bases, you don't just have to go with the standard option, you can go to rollaway drawers. So like this one here, you got a nice big drawer that's not part of the base, it's separate, so it can take plenty of weight. You can put plenty in there, and it just nicely snugs underneath the base. And another option of drawers, instead of being separate rollaways, we also have the roller runner drawers. So these are smaller because they can't take quite as much weight as what the big rollaways can, but just a bit neater, better for clothing, and again, just neatly sit in place. So come on down and see us at Nelson Beds at 59 Quarantine Road on the way to the airport.
Nelson Tire Center, great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer, all types, all sizes.
Hi, I'm Colin from Nelson Tire Centre. Come on down for a good deal.
Stephen Order, thanks very much for coming on the show today. You're running for Nelson City Council. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Graham. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to come along today and answer a few questions from yourself and also from the public. Who am I? I've lived in Nelson for the last 18 years. I live out in Stoke. We've got a home there in Andrew Street, and I came back to Nelson, as I said, 18 years ago to take up a position with Child and Family. And all my children were at school when we arrived, and they completed their schooling through Birchwood Primary, the intermediate there at Broadgreen, and they all went through Mainland College, and 3 of them out in the world away from Nelson doing things, and one's living and working in Nelson as they do. So yeah, I started with Child and Family about 25 years ago. 3 weeks ago was my last day at Child and Family, so I've just concluded my social work career with them. I first came to Nelson actually in 1973. My dad still lives out in Richmond, and I went to Miami College, and so there's a few people I know from around the town still from that I knew from way back then, which is quite nice. So yeah, that's a brief story. I enjoy getting out and about in the local community. I've had some community sport roles with the Nelson Suburbs Football Club out in Stoke for quite a long time, and I'm a current board member of Nelson Cricket. And I do a lot of sort of outdoor activities, enjoy biking and walking in the hills in the Nelson region. So,
nice.
Yep.
Nice one. Sounds like you've been pretty busy. And why should people vote for you?
Why should they vote for me? Yeah. I suppose what I'm talking with people about is that I bring experience and advocacy for children, you know, and children's safety, and children's rights, and children's protection. And so I've had 25 years plus really working in the social work field, and you learn a lot of skills of in that work context, which I think are quite transferable into the council environment. As I said, you know, you're an advocate for a child. You can be advocate for your community. We pull people together to try and create solutions for complex issues around children. That's a similar thing that happens within the council context. I'm sure there's a few complex things that this community is facing. Working in the statutory part of social work, it's you work with legislation and policies and procedures. So there's lots of rules and boundaries about how you go about doing the work. Sure. And I know that within the council context, there's going to be a very similar environment that decisions are made within. So I'm quite comfortable making decisions within that sort of a statutory and policy framework environment. So I think that's that should be quite transferable to bring my skills and expertise into that context. I suppose I enjoy meeting people. It's been really great getting out and meeting lots of new people in the last couple of weeks. I've been out various places around the town with my sign and introducing myself. And and I think Nelson's a great place to live, and I'm looking forward to being part of a team of councillors, and I emphasise that word carefully. I think the council always need to be seen as a team, and the mayor needs to lead that team, working together to advance the welfare and of all our community in the best way that we can. So, yep.
Great. And Stephen, we've got some questions from people on the street, so we'll have a look at those.
Excellent, thank you.
I'd like to ask new candidates how they each one might vote on the GMO question, which has been in the news recently.
Hi David, that's a pretty tricky question you put out at the market on the weekend. And actually, to be honest, something I haven't given any thought to in terms of being on the council, the issue of genetically modified organisms and the role the council might play with that. So that's my honest answer. And I suppose what you're raising, I suppose, for me is the bigger picture about what decisions the national or the central government is bringing back to the local community or to vote on. And I suppose that's the bigger question here: of what should sit at a national level, and also what should sit at a community level. Because you'd probably be aware that there's some legislation coming in 2018 to bring the fluoride vote back to the DHBs, whereas that was kicked up to the national level some time ago. So, I suppose that's a very broad answer, and I can't give a more specific answer. But I suppose if it ever came to the council and the council had to vote on such an issue, I suppose what I would be relying on, like I would with other decisions I'd need to make as a councillor, would be around what is the science telling us on us, what's the recommendations from experts in a particular area. Does the council have a mandate as a sitting council to make a decision on such an issue for the community? It would be a big one for me too, and like it has been an issue that's been on the pre-election table so far, that this is the first time I've heard about it. So that's a really important one, and that's the principle I'd apply in lots of decision making: is do I have a mandate to speak on or vote on your behalf on the issue of GMO in the community? And at the moment I'd say the answer would be no. So what I would do as a councillor would be finding a mechanism going back to the community to get the community's view on what they believe was best for us, and put that alongside what the best scientific and expert information was available to us at that time. So thanks for the question, it was a great one.
Great. How about some points or issues that you'd like to quickly raise?
It's been interesting getting out and about in the street too, and talking to people actually, because I suppose I've got a certain perspective on what's going on in the community from my work and personal experiences, and it's interesting what people come up to you and talk about. And I must say, there's a really wide range of things that some people are really hot about some stuff, which is interesting, and other people are taking some time to consider who I am and what I'm about. And I suppose I haven't, if you look at my information that I've got there, I haven't sort of gone and put out issues as such necessarily. To me, it's about presenting the person that I am, my experience, what I bring from it, and how I'll go about making good decisions on behalf of the community, really. So that's more from a principled position in that regard. And also, So how we make decisions is really important, and how we consult and keep in touch with the community is important. I think if in making decisions, if you ask the right questions and enough of them, you often end up getting the right answer. So I see it as a opportunity to serve the community. I've just concluded a 25-year social work career, charity and family, and I suppose I was looking at saying, what's the next meaningful step for me to move into, following being a social worker in quite a tricky part of our community, really. And the council is something I've always had an interest in doing at some stage of my life, and so I'm giving it a good crack this time, and we'll see whether the public can think that I'm okay and I get enough votes on by the 8th of October. So Graham, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Stephen, and good luck.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
If you want to really achieve change in this city, then you need to vote for Pete Rainey as mayor. And Graham, if you really want to achieve change, then you need to be out there telling every single person that a vote for Pete Rainey is going to be the vote to make. Because any vote for you, my friend, is going to be taking a vote away from me, and it's going to take a vote away from real change in the city. So spread the message. That's if you really want to put some responsibility into what you're doing, then you need to spread that message loud and clear. Thanks, everybody.
If Mr Rainey's election strategy is to get the opposition candidates to step down and endorse him, it's a rather novel one. In a real democracy, people can choose between a number of different candidates, not to be limited to just two, the best or the worst. Maybe Mr Rainey's confusing New Zealand American politics.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Watson and I'm standing for the Tasman District Council's Mutri Waimea Award for Council. The TDC has some big challenges ahead, and I believe it's important the council have successful people with business skills and experience that know how to manage money, your hard-earned money, wisely. I want to see a considerable reduction in unnecessary red tape that is adding huge costs to all ratepayers, new home owners, businesses and farmers. Rate increases must be kept below inflation and more fairness introduced on a number of issues across our region. My wife Christine and I operate a number of companies including Mainland TV, radio and online, and we've lived in the Motueka Valley for over 36 years. We love the people, we love the climate, we love the environment, and I am passionate to make Tasman better the way you want it.
I'm Kip Mailing and I'm standing for Mayor of Tasman. First of all, I'd just like to give you a bit of my background. I spent 24 years in the police and 12 years orcharding, and I returned to Tasman to live some 18 years ago because I had an elderly father that we wanted to be close to. I'm standing for Mayor because I want to make a difference to our district. I'm concerned about what is happening with our current council. They're not focused on core services. They've also increased staff hugely over the last 9 years. What's happened in Mapua, with an overspend of $500,000 and $1.8 million on a commercial building, is not core services and should not have been done. There are plenty of developers in Nelson and Tasman that would have built that building and not involved ratepayers' money. It's an indictment on this council that we can't fix stormwater in Motueka and flooding issues in Murchison, and we're spending $1.8 million on a commercial building. That should not happen. So I want to see a council that is focused on core services. Rates affordability is another issue, and the increase in staffing has caused part of this problem. Rates should not go up above inflation, and in the last 9 years they've gone up above inflation every year. This year they went up 1%, inflation is running at 0.4. The next subject I want to discuss is our environment. I'm a keen trout fisherman and I also go sea fishing. We need jobs and we need to improve our environment as well, and that means protecting our waterways and ensuring that we're not damaging our environment with our development. I also support the Lee Valley Dam. I have been involved in irrigation for a number of years, and if we don't build this dam Soon we will lose funding from government. They are looking at putting in a considerable sum of money to help irrigators fund this project, and it will also provide water for Richmond. Without the dam, we have 1,000 jobs at risk on the Waimea Plains. That will affect our economy hugely and our district. And the last subject I'd like to really talk with you this morning is the Southern Link. It is increasingly difficult to get in and out of Nelson from Tasman. When I came to Nelson as a 10-year-old 50 years ago, there was talk of the Southern Link then. Our population has increased hugely, and it can now take an hour to get from Nelson City to the other side of Richmond. We need to improve the flow of and volume of traffic from our key infrastructure areas, the port. The one way to do that is with the Southern Link. So I won't have met all you people. We have a difficult district to get around, but I've spent time in Murchison in the last few days. I've also been at Lake Rotoiti, I go to Motueka, I've been to Golden Bay, and over the next few weeks I'll be visiting every district and every township that I can, and I would seek your support to bring the Tasman district back into focus on core services, affordability of rates, improving our environment, and the Southern Link. Thank you for listening to me.
Hi, Dave here from Nelson Beds.
And Jesse.
We'd like to invite you all into our showroom here in Quarantine Road. Have a look at what we produce. We do a wide range of beds, bedroom furniture, adjustable beds, both home care style, whereby you may have people that are in a disabled position, or just adjustable beds for your own comfort. We do rustic furniture and bed frames, mattresses.
So with our ranges of bases, you don't just have to go with the standard option. You can go to rollaway drawers. So like this one here, you got a nice big drawer that's not part of the base. It's separate, so it can take plenty of weight. You can put plenty in there, and it just nicely snugs underneath the base. And another option of drawers, instead of being separate rollaways, we also have the roller runner drawers. So these are smaller because they can't take quite as much weight as what the big rollaways can, but just a bit neater, better for clothing, and again, just neatly sit in place.
So come on down and see us at Nelson Beds at 59 Quarantine Road on the way to the airport.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and Mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297, ytel.co.nz.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
I'm Larry London from VOA Music Mix, bringing you news on the hour from around the world, plus music 24/7, from the latest hits to those classic favorites to jazz on Saturday mornings, plus much, much more. You can contact us by Googling Mainland TV or follow us on Facebook. Cheers from the team at Mainland Radio 1 and VOA Music Mix.